parade, please wave your grades at the brave who fight for you. If you don't gain, they fight in vain. Show them what you can do. Show them what you can do. Please show them what you can do. I said, in this parade, please wave your grades at the brave who fight for you. If you don't gain, they fight in vain. Show them what you can do. Show them what you can do. Please show them what you can do. You make this parade a mere charade if you're marching just for fun. Our troops must feel your thanks for real before the marching is done. They know side by side you can match their stride to the drum beat and the brass, but they're not impressed with you unless you can match their stride in class. This may not sound too diplomatic, but I cannot be more emphatic as I tell you, it's problematic when you do less than your best. Especially when it's because you put your brilliance on pause for the mere peer applause it draws from a so-called friend doing less. Quit playing, I'm saying, you know that you are great, and we know it, so show it. Don't make our heroes wait. In this parade, please wave your grades at the brave who fight for you.
Good afternoon and welcome to Wave Your Grades on KUAW.org, the academic patriotism program that is dedicated to veterans and serious secondary scholars. I am your announcer, DeQuay Wilson. Now, our host, civilian urban educator Carl Boyd, is here.
Thank you so very, very much, DeQuay Wilson. And DeQuay Wilson is indeed our producer, engineer, announcer, and co-host on Wave Your Grades every Saturday from 1 until 2 p.m. right here on KUAW.org. And by the way, 100.5 FM KOJH. So here we are once again on a Saturday afternoon. This is a very special Saturday afternoon. And by the way, Attorney Valencia brought us every first Saturday is a very special Saturday because that's when you bring your youth to the program, and they are indeed outstanding. You have been talking lately about financial literacy. You will be introducing some young people who are intelligent on the subject, and I am blessed to have a Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity brother, H. David Whalen, who is a financial expert, who will be with us today. So let me tell you, Valencia, you did not know about this, but this is the way I want to start the program with H. David Whalen, so he can give me some advice. And when he gives me the advice, then you and your students will be getting it at the same time, in addition to what you are already prepared to do. So please allow me, before the formal introduction of Attorney Valencia Broadus and great, great young people, to tell, and by the way, welcome H. David Whalen to the program.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Let me tell you what the introduction will be. And by the way, I heard you this morning. Eric is at the Urban Summit, and I dropped by there, and it is packed. I am so appreciative of Bishop James Tyndall and his history with the Urban Summit. But H. David Whalen, financial expert, let me tell you how I'm going to open the program, because this is a true story. I was hacked or whacked or taken advantage of in some way on the internet where my debit card is concerned. Now, therefore, this is the scenario. I received a notice of an overdrawn account. I thought that I indeed was up to date with the not-for-profit account, and when I looked, I could not find where the discrepancy was. So when I called, and all of you on this line are familiar with the words recent activity. So when I checked on the recent activity in my account, there were 2 outstanding discrepancies in terms of purchases with my debit card, which was in my pocket. Now, Brother Whalen, as I mentioned earlier to you in private, I thought I would be able to trace the transactions to a particular location. But we are now in the world of high technology, and those transactions took place.com. So I could not go directly to the store, as it were, because we're in this time of the possibilities of being taken advantage of. Attorney Valencia brought us, I wanted H. David Whalen to start us off with a little bit of advice, and then we will be blessed to have Valencia introduce the rest of the program. H. David Whalen, what am I supposed to do? What can you do about what's going on today?
Well, Carl, you are, like many people, are a victim of technology.
Yes, sir.
Uh, it has good aspects and it has bad aspects. We always have bad actors out there, so they use technology in order to stay anonymous, but take money out of your pocket.
Often
So
more
the
intelligently
statistic
than we.
Well, yeah, those guys, the people that are doing it are brilliant
Yes, sir.
because they know how to manipulate and get information that really, as I said before, keeps them anonymous to a certain extent. And it's like you said, okay, I'm gonna track this down. It's virtually impossible to
Wow.
track it down. So here's the statistics, just the background. Social media is the playground of people trying to take advantage of other people. So in 2021, $2.7 billion were scammed from people, unbeknownst from where it came from, but through different methods. And yours is just one of the methods. So what we have learned is, and what the Federal Trade Commission talks about, the FTC is a consumer protection agency for the government, and they track scams and frauds and all kind of things that are reported. Unfortunately, a lot of times people who get taken advantage of off the internet, they don't report it. There are different types of scams that happen. But guess who is affected mostly by internet scams? And that is young people. 38% are aged 20 to 29.
Wow.
Young people 18 to 19, the figure was 47%. But it makes sense to me because they always on their phone. They're always on their computer. They always on something. So they are interacting more than you and I would be. I'm a little more cautious. First of all, I don't know that much about technology. So I try to limit my exposure. But this is just the way that it is. That's the world we're living in right now. And you know what's really is not funny, but the areas in which people really take advantage of people, and I'm talking about, this is from January to June of 2023. 44% was online shopping and investment related scams. 20% was romance scams and other frauds, if you can believe that. So it's a lot of times people are going on the internet to hook up with somebody, and you got a problem there as well.
Well,
So
let me say to H. David Whalen that as I asked Attorney Valencia brought us to come in, Attorney brought us, we have an expert in financial literacy, but he and I are willing to admit that you're going to introduce us to some young people who can teach us some things as well, because he's talking about technological literacy among the young people. So with all of that, now, finally, let me ask Attorney Valencia Broadus to introduce today's program with H. David Whalen being our special guest.
First, I want to say again, hello to Mr. David Whalen. Of course, we've known each other for years. I've been here for 26 years, and I think I've known you for 25 of those years for sure. He used to come over to our school and do money and banking and golf. Did you do golf with us? You did money in banking for sure. We had so
Yes,
many
money in
of you
banking.
awesome okay, that did. And that was way back at NIA when we were at Northeast Middle. And so, of course, when the other bank, you're out, no, this all these banks, because I don't know if people can sell it, because wherever you are now. Oh, but I just want to say thank you for being here. And the reason I want to make sure that I definitely share that Mr. Dave Wayland is a expert financial advisor, because one of our students, Mr. Kevon, he wants to be a financial advisor and he's still in high school. But I told him, um, he's got to meet people, talk to them, and ask y'all how y'all did it. So he specifically wants to do that. So Mr. Kevon, when you can, please, let us see you, and I know you'll talk as well. But I do know you're there, so thank you I'm glad that you got it, Mr. Kevon. Um, so we are the Smart Career Club. We've been hanging around for 25 years.
Yes,
And so we're still
absolutely.
going, still helping young leaders to catch a dream and make it grow. And so what we've done for the past 10 years, especially, we do, of course, the ACT tutoring, all that stuff, but we focus deeply into helping our young people to meet the people and the careers they want to be in, while we help them to also we do college tours and all sorts of type of stuff. But financial literacy has been a big deal, because we fortunately have been able to help our young people to basically qualify to get in pretty much any school they want to get into. And that's great. That sounds so wonderful. But then if they can't pay for it,
Wow.
we still haven't done our job, because then they're going to get in debt and everything else. And so we started doing a lot of scholarship stuff and helping them really understand how to get that, which that writing and etc. But still, they might still get the loans in their families and go on to school, and then they come home with all this debt. So we just try to start doing a little bit more with a lot of the other financial planners and bankers in the area to really get deeper into financial literacy. So what we found 3 years ago, we did a financial jeopardy competition at the Black Archives.
Wow.
And our young people, they were the contestants. It was amazing. But what happened is, as we were having all the young people to learn it, and I think they were able to win up to like $750, the winner was, total. And everybody got money for just competing, but they had to study with their families. And so myself and my team of planners that planned the event, we were like, how Keela the bee, they all helped her practice for the bee. So that's what we were doing with financial literacy. So what ended up happening after that is that then the students went on, did whatever they were doing. But then we had all these families that we still, for 3 years now, we still meet with these families and talk about them, about financial literacy. And so their credit's better and they're getting homes and just all this stuff. And so we're like, oh my gosh, we got something here. But it's really through the young people. We're trying to just utilize our young financial ambassadors, as long as they will let us teach them as much as we know, and not just teach them so that they know, but teach them how to act on so that they grow. Then they really do spread it. And Mr. Micah, I definitely want him to share a little bit with us about his first experience with financial literacy and what you thought about it, Mr. Micah. If you're ready, talk to us a little bit about the first time you did our class and where you are now with it.
Okay. Uh, Hello, everyone. So when we first was introduced to the financial literacy class, I kind of, I was like, I wasn't really paying attention and wasn't participating, and I kept sleeping in class. And financial literacy to me was like not really important. But over time, I realized that I want money and I want to keep money. So I need to know how to manage my money. So that way I know how to save my money. I know how to invest my money. I know how to make more money. And I know how to spend money, but at the same time still have money left over.
Ah.
To make some things happen. And Mr. Micah, he's a junior now at De La Salle High School. And he was been with us a couple of years now, and he tells everybody. Back then, I didn't think it was important, but I'm telling you, it's important. And he'll tell you a little bit later about him wanting to be an engineer and how much money he's going to make and all that stuff, because that's important. That's important.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Kevon, he was the winner of our Jeopardy competition that particular year when you and Michael were in that class together. So, Mr. Kevon, can you tell us about your experience in learning about personal finance and money and how you won all that money that year? Because you were the winner. So, talk with us a little bit about that experience, if you please.
Congratulations.
Absolutely. Mr. Kevon, can you?
First, it was just
There
like,
you Hi.
It was a new concept for me. It was something I had never learned before, or was never pushed out to me, because usually it's something like you have to find out on your own because you don't see people doing it near you. So when I had some people tell me about it, I was like, okay, let me see how deep I can take this before it's like, what's the next roadblock I'm gonna see, and how much can this change my life from just doing this alone? You know what I mean? So then I would go back and take what I was taught to my mom. I'm like, okay, I found out this, and this. This can build your credit. This can do this for you. And then it just started changing things around me. So I was like, oh yeah, this has an overall impact on me. So maybe I need to actually take this in.
And he won that money that year. He studied so hard. He was Mr. Versey Lark, and they studied, and he was blowing everybody with the scores.
Right.
And a year and a half later now, he's still serious about it. And he's we have a radio piece, Smart Money News and Business Reviews, and he has been our first young host for that piece, and he's serious. Like you said, he shared it with his family. And it's really exciting, and so really, really happy. Also, you also are a junior at De La Salle. Junior also?
Yeah.
Mr. Kevon. So you're getting close. I'm just saying, I'm pointing this out on purpose.
Yeah, I'm a junior.
To get out there in the world. And I keep reminding them that the parents, our goal, our job is to help you to get out and get out of our pocket. And so we need you to, be making your own money and everything, but as much as you need. So there's taking it serious. Mr. Xavier. So Mr. Xavier, please, I know you actually for this past year, and thank you, Mr. Kevon, you've been talking with us quite a bit. You've even helped us to teach some other young leaders in your age group a little bit about financial literacy. So tell a little bit about yourself and what you've been finding as you've been working with this with us, please.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? I have a couple of technical difficulties.
No, you're fine. No, just more of just tell us, what have you been learning since you've been with us about financial literacy, personal finance?
I've been learning more about money and things like that. Because before I learned about it, I was the type of kid that the moment I got money, the money was gone. My money did not at all. But now that I've been learning financial literacy, now I save. I save a lot, and I help my parents, my uncles and aunts learn about it too. And
No, thank you. And here's no, go ahead, please. Go ahead.
And ever since I actually been learning it, I've actually been thinking more of my future, like jobs, full rides. When I needed to get a car, a small little place I can live in, and things like that.
Like no debt. And so, I can talk, y'all know me, I can talk forever. And so, and Mr. Xavier, tell us, you're 8th grade going into 9th grade, right? Amen. So he's our younger person, but we have to start early. So I just want to start there,
yes.
Just so you know who they are, Mr. Wegland. But then please, Mr. Wegland, talk to us because you're the expert. And we want to learn more too.
Actually, I'm so excited by what those young guys just got through talking about. Actually, I'm I apologize. I'm giving y'all the wrong information. I think I was trying to answer Carl's question, but really listening to you guys just got me excited because it's a couple of things. It's kind of like playing sports. You got to keep it simple. Money is a lifelong skill. So whether you're starting out at the eighth grade,
All right.
or you're a junior, or you're 25, or you're 50, or you're 75, it doesn't make any difference. Once you learn the skill of managing money, it is yours to keep. So you starting off now and then sharing that information with your family, that just means that all families are not equal. I was fortunate. My dad was in business. So I learned a little bit more about money, but all families are not like that. And so therefore you're learning. So now you're connected to your other family members, bringing them along, and you're learning together. So I want to give you a book because education is the number one thing. So this book is when I give my literacy classes to adults, I start them with this book, and it's called The Richest Man in Babylon.
Okay.
You can get it from the half price store for about $4, maybe even $3.50. It is a book that you need to read because knowledge obviously is in books. They're not all online, but it's in books. So it's good to read this book. This is a fundamental book of how to earn money, how to manage money, how to keep money, how to invest it, and keep it simple. A lot of people complicate money. There are investments that are complicated, but you don't have to be involved in that. You could just keep it simple. My big thing is there are two S's, savers and spenders. Most people are more spenders than they are savers. And that's because our economy, the overall economy, 70% of it is based on people spending money. That's why you have all this advertising about spending money. However, those people who are wealthy are those people who save money, invest money, have businesses, they manage their money, but they also manage their expectation. And that's where people get in trouble, not being able to manage that self-gratification. I gotta have at all costs. If you plan, set goals, you could do anything you want to do. But planning is the most important thing. So automate your savings. You guys are at an age, you ought to be hustling. When I was young, I had a hustle. I don't care if it was cutting grass. I don't care if it was shoveling snow, selling the call paper, driving a taxi cab for my daddy. I always had a hustle, which means I all kept money in my pocket. You guys, the same things are available today. They may be a little different, but you guys got to develop a hustle. Now people talk about, what do they call it? A side hustle.
Yes,
They
sir.
made the word hustling very, very romantic. The people talk about, you can get a side hustle, start a business with a side hustle. You guys are smart enough to create stuff too. And y'all know technology. Start thinking about the only difference between Jeff Bezos and somebody else is Jeff Bezos started selling books online. That's where Amazon came from. He started selling books online and just explored other avenues and started selling everything online. You guys have that same opportunity with technology, but also technology is great, but there may be other things to help people, because the number one way to make money is fill a need. So you got to be creative. You got to think about it. But managing your money It could be real. Don't get caught up. Keep it simple. Save more money than you spend. Invest that money, whether it be in stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, or real estate, but put it in something that's going to grow and leave it alone. If you do that, just leave it alone, it'll grow on its own. And then when the time comes, you'll be able to take advantage of that money that you have saved. That's the power, is in money saved, not in spending. So I'm gonna stop right there.
This is a perfect segue into, and if we can I get all three of our gentlemen to please come to your stream, because now is where you guys are going to talk with us a little bit more about, thank you, some of your plans that we've been talking about. So the question I posed to them was, we're in high school now, and that's cool. At some point, they're going to be 25 years old. And so what is, going to be some of your needs that you believe are going to be existing at 25, not your wants, remember, needs. What is going to be some of your real needs that you're going to be having at 25, type of car, house, all that type of stuff we talked about. But then also, remember, we were talking about, how are you going to make sure that you have enough money to meet your needs? And that goes back to, I want you to say your career goal, what you think you're going to be making at age 25, and what some of your needs are going to be. And so you all can kind of just talk with each other. I mean, talk to us, but, just, your answers. So, but tell us, tell the world your answers, so they'll know what you know. Mr. Micah, go ahead. Or Mr. Kevon. He came off. Go ahead, Mr. Kevon. Go ahead. I saw you.
I want to be a financial advisor. I feel like I'll be making anywhere from about 80 to 110 on a, I don't know. Because that's one of a skill thing. It's like you get paid based off your skill. So I feel like I'm going to need anywhere from 5,000 to 6,000. I mean, I don't need nothing crazy.
A month?
Yeah.
A month? Okay. And so remember, you're making, let's say, 100,000 a year, and if you only need to spend 5,000 to 6,000 a month, you remember what that adds up to with 12 months?
Yeah.
So what's your expense budget a year?
So let me put this in the calculator real quick.
That's good. Go ahead.
All right. So if let's say we need 6,500 times 60, because let's say 5 years.
Now remember, that's for your car note. So before we do your car note, but you're right though. So we're gonna talk about your car in a minute. But if you right now, you know that you're gonna be spending 6,000 a month. So if you spend 6,000 a month for 12 months, what's your annual? 78,000, right? You're gonna be making 100,000. And then you're going to need to spend 78,000. So come back later and let's talk about what you're going to do with that other 22. No, don't tell me right now though. So you're going to have 22,000 left over. Well, no, but don't tell me now. What you're going to do with that 22,000 extra a year to become a millionaire? Remember we talked about that. You want to be a millionaire? Okay. So, Mr.
Broaders, wait a minute.
Go ahead.
I got to bust a bubble.
Okay. Go ahead.
Because they're not understanding one thing. I can make $70,000 a year, but Uncle Sam is going to take 35% of that in taxes. Yes. So I love the idea of having a budget, but the only thing you could budget is money that you net in your pocket. You can't budget the whole thing. And the number one tool to manage your money is a budget. Never let anybody tell you anything different. But if I make 70,000 and then take 35% of that away, you don't have 70,000. You might have 60. You may have, 57,000. You got to take that 57,000 and then divide it by 12. And that's what your monthly net will be. And then you got to back into your numbers. Your numbers, do I have a car note? Do I have a apartment note? Do I have food? Do I have insurance? You got to put all those numbers in place to really create a budget. I just want to let you know that he may be making 70 or whatever it is. You can make 100, but 35 to 37, maybe even 40% is going to go to Uncle Sam, Medicare, Social Security. All of that stuff comes off the top before you get
Absolutely.
anything, by the way.
And no,
And
thank
some
you. And as you guys are getting paid now in your internship, that money's coming out already, isn't it? They
and
took that money out.
and please let me mention
Okay.
that some of it goes to the sponsors of your show. So, DeQuay Wilson is going to take us to our mid-program break before we come back to the richest man in Babylon and get some
Hey,
contact information. But first, let me, excuse me, Attorney Broadus, I'm going to turn it over to DeQuay Wilson. We'll be right back.
It is time to
Amen.
it is time to remind our seventh and eighth grade students that you can win a monetary award from our sponsoring organization. You will do so by supplying a title. I'm sorry, an essay. Your essay title will be "Heroes You Know You Didn't Know Were Heroes." Your content will identify a veteran at your school. That can be absolutely anyone. If your essay is chosen and submitted by an adult who gives you permission to read it on this Waive Your Grades program, you will be awarded a monetary prize. For entry or inquiry, please send an email to stootsforboots@gmail.com. That is STOOTSFORBOOTS @gmail.com. Stootsforboots@gmail.com. Now back to our host, Carl Boyd.
Thank you so very, very much. And Attorney Broadus, before we go on, let us ask Brother H. David Whalen contact information and the types of presentations you do.
well, the Lord has blessed me to talk about money,
Yes.
and I think money is a common topic among anybody that either wants to earn money, make money, save money, invest money. All families, everybody needs it. So I'm willing to speak anywhere just to encourage, to inspire, to motivate people to manage their money a lot better. Um,
And you can be contacted.
oh, I can be contacted at my office, 816-373-1068, or you can email me at hdwhalen at iCloud, the letter iCloud.com.
Thank you so very much. Attorney Broadus, please.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. Yes. So Mr. David, he is absolutely on point. I know you guys know some of that about the gross and net income and all of that. And so we want to make sure, because I know Mr. Micah, you recently got your certification, and so I know in financial education, so we do some of that. So we want to make sure that we're affirming to Mr. Whalen that you understand that part, because if not, we need him to tell us again. You're yeah, yes, you say but for the exercise, just so you'll know that we want to remember those things. So okay, Mr. Micah. So tell us a little bit more about you, your career goal, how much money you think you're gonna make.
Okay. My name is Micah. I'm a junior at De La Salle. And my career goal is to be a mechanical engineer. And the annual salary for mechanical engineering ranges from between 60K to 120K a year. And
Excellent. So I'm going to ask you a different question. So with some of your expenses, we've talked about at 25, what type of car you want, and what's your rent going to be? What are some things that you were thinking
well,
based
I
on what you think you want at 25?
I'll say my rent is gonna be somewhere around $900, and my car payment $650 a month. Oh, and this kind of off topic, but they having choir rehearsal downstairs, so
Yes.
y'all might be there.
You
But
got to go sing.
uh, well, I was gonna
Yeah.
wait till this
You
was
want
over.
to say, Monica? Tell us
Oh no.
your skill. See, like, I know about that one. Now, you know I'm gonna come back to that at some point real soon. You're amazing. You're amazing.
Outstanding,
But what
outstanding.
we did though, we tried to make sure that we're asking them to think about the types of cars and these car notes. And sometimes we have such these big dreams, and your car note might be the kind you want, 600. It could be 1,200. And again, looking at your salary, expectations is where we always are trying to go. Like, okay, you want all that. Are you going to make sure that you're getting the job so you can hopefully afford that? So we try to get that education back in, whether it is college or trade school, earning a business. You have to earn the money as well, and so in different ways. So no, thank you, Mr. Xavier. So tell us, I mean, what about you and what you want to do and how much money that you think you're going to make at age 25.
I'm Xavier Sidney. Instead going to ninth grade at EMS to Lee Summit North High School, and I want to be an electrical engineer. And the amount of money I think I'm gonna make is around $156,000. And like Mr. Holland said, is like 35 divided by 35, like 35%. So I divided that by my normal amount, and I got $58,000 left. And plus the things I want um from when I'm 25, I haven't got the like apartment like where I want to stay yet added to it. So I had my car note, which I will have to pay like $27,000, which I can get like from saving up over the years. And the car note is like $1,325,000 per month. So I divided by that minus 500, and then I got 1,322. My math that
And we didn't add interest yet to those payments. We were just letting them know that the car notes are about 5 years and stuff, so that they're remembering. And we talked about the reason we picked the age 25 is because 25 and under, the insurance is so high for our males. I mean, it's so high. So that's why we started it at 25. And we
Now,
talked about, getting that. Go ahead, Mr. Boyd. Go ahead, please.
Attorney Valencia Broadus, I want to thank you and congratulate you so much on something that I would like H. David Whalen to elaborate upon, and that is investment. Because however much, however little we earn, and by the way, I'm not the expert, I'm talking about things I failed to do, particularly at their age. But however much or however little you earn, a portion can be invested. And I was just wondering, in as much as Brother Whalen, you mentioned that earlier, how does that manifest in a practical sense for someone that young?
No, I was just calculating that if an average person made $60,000 a year over 30 years, that's $1,800,000 that will have come through their hands. If you look at my budget, and for all you guys, I want you to know I have a budget, and it took me a little while to learn this, but the three top items on my budget is, first of all, I tithe to my church. The second item is what I call PYF. I pay myself first. And then the third item is for people, you either pay your rent or your mortgage. So those are the top three items if I was creating a budget that I would do. But paying yourself first is where you save money and you take part of that money and you invest it. Paying yourself means if I earn the money, I should value myself enough to invest money that will work harder than I will over time. Invested money works while you sleep. You can't beat it. But you guys got time on your hands. So a little bit of money, and I'm talking about $25, $50, $75 a month over a long period of time Y'all have so much money you can buy 5 or 6 cars. But look, I'm not a believer in spending money in things that lose value anymore. A car is a need and you have to have it to get to work, but it's not an investment. Y'all need to understand that. So when you're talking about paying $650 a month, $1,200, all that money for a car that's going to depreciate over time, not a great investment. Do you need a car? Sure, you need a car. Y'all need to stay at home with your parents and save that rent money for as long as y'all can. If you invest that, you'll have a chunk of money. But I'm old. These are lessons that I've learned.
Before we run out of time, I
And
have a question for you, Mr. Whalen. You talk about investments, you talk about savings. Would you differentiate or would you separate out maybe a lifetime savings or retirement savings versus a rainy day savings? And then also, would you recommend? Are there percentages that you would recommend as far as investing versus savings of the money that you're paying yourself with
Ah,
first?
there you go.
Yeah. It doesn't depend on how much money you're making. It does depend on what you're trying to save for. So retirement is your number one saving vehicle. If you're working somewhere, you definitely need to be saving money in a retirement account because it's tax deferred, or in other words, you don't pay any taxes on it. Plus the fact that your company may be matching that money. So if you put in a dollar, they'll put in a dollar. That's doubling your money in terms of the investment. But we also must save money for emergency fund because most people who have cars or a house have a deductible. So they forget that if something happens, you have to pay that deductible. So you need money set aside to pay that.
Mm.
But like in real life, everybody's going to have an emergency. It does not make any difference if you have a house, the refrigerator's going to go out, furnace may have a problem. The question is really is when you saving money, retirement, emergency, you got to figure out a percentage for each one of those and do it automatically and then spend the rest of the money the way you want to. But pay yourself first, save money first, and then spend money afterwards. Don't know if that answered your question totally, but I always use 10%. So, if you save 10% of your money, leave it alone, it'll grow by itself.
absolutely.
Thank
I
you,
have
thank you,
thank
thank. Go ahead, attorney.
I was going to say with our young leaders, I know you guys have learned some thoughts on that too, but I also want you to tell us about a couple of the articles you've been reading on finances lately. And Mr. Keyvon, I definitely thought about the one that you had shared with us um, to be thinking about today. And I know it was just sharing that for futuristic reasons, there's a percentage of number of students that they're really worried about that saving piece. Can you tell us a little bit about what you were reading and sharing with us a little bit?
So I went through it and it's basically telling me like that there's an X factor when you know how to save and when you know how to invest. That's the difference from a star player and an all star. You know what I mean? So like I can know how to put 10% up, but do I know how to grow 10%? I can't turn 10% to 15 without knowing what to do. So it's like now you have to worry about when do I need this money now. I need to pay for school. I need to feed myself. How am I gonna get this money? And I didn't put it up, so it's like now you stuck in a situation where having a rainy day fund would be essential. But what if you didn't have the money for that?
Yeah, that's a good question. You have to be disciplined enough to understand that you're going to have a rainy day. You just you gotta bite the bullet on that. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Now you could go years and years and nothing happened, but everybody runs into an emergency. But I want you to understand one other thing that you just talked about that's important. Yes, I save my money, But investing in money just means, let me ask you a question. Do you buy Nike shoes?
Yes.
You
He
do.
loves shoes.
I love shoes.
So do you own a share of Nike?
I want to,
What,
but it's
what, what, what,
I want to, I want to.
what?
David
Do
Whelan.
you own a
David
share of
Whelan.
Nike? Do
Is
you
there
own a
any
share
such
of
thing
Nike?
as being too young to invest?
Right. That's
No,
exactly.
there's no such thing.
How much do you pay for your shoes?
Come on.
Ah, I mean, it depends on the shoe. I went
No,
as
no.
far
Give
as
me an answer. What do you pay for your shoes? Tell me.
normally I want to say 250 to three
My
hundred,
Lord.
Gotcha.
and
So, who am I talking to? Keon?
yeah.
Kevon, yeah.
Kevon, get on your phone right now. Go to
Hmm.
Yahoo Finance. Put in Nike right now. And I want you to tell me how much a share of Nike is. And I'm just go through this exercise with you. And I'm going to tell
Wow.
you why I want you to buy one share. And I'm going to tell you the secret of investing. So, how much is a share of Nike stock?
Let me click through this. All
Yeah,
right, so
Yahoo Finance. Go to
This
a
Yahoo
hundred
Finance.
and seven dollars.
What'd you say?
$107.
Really?
That's two
One share,
shares of Nike.
Oh,
one share of Nike stock. So on your feet today, you got a $200 pair of shoes. And here's the secret to investing. Invest in something that you're familiar with. So you're familiar with Nike. Now, what you need to understand is Nike pays shareholders, which equates to a person being an owner. They pay them a dividend 4 times a year. They pay, here's a secret to investing: invest in something where the people pay you back. They pay you to own them. Okay? They pay you to own them. So before you buy another pair of shoes, buy you a share of Nike stock, because then you will be feeding yourself, because you
Outs-
will be an owner, and being a
outstanding.
shareholder means they pay you dividends. And guess what? Nike has 80% of the tennis shoe market out there, so they pretty well managed, pretty much a leader. You like Nikes, so what do you think? What you gonna do
probably,
next?
that's probably next purchase. Probably get myself that for like Christmas or something.
Praise
There you
Yes,
God.
go.
Listen,
yes. It's gold. It's
And
a good shoe.
if you need somebody to help you buy it, call me.
All right,
373
I'm a
1068.
Yeah, give me your number.
816
all right.
373 1068. And you know what? I offer my number to people all the time. All they got to do is call me. They don't believe it though. All you
That
got
is
to do
so
is call
good.
me. I'll walk you through the whole process. I want you to own a share of Nike.
Wow.
I want you to own a share of whatever it is you use out there. That's what you ought to be buying.
As a matter of fact, excuse me for interrupting. I have to look to our producer, and we just have a few minutes left. We're going to be coming to the end of the program, which is totally unfair because Attorney Valencia brought us. You have brought us some all stars, and
They're
David Whelan
amazing.
reminded me. David, you know Doug Cole.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
And Doug was speaking to a group of young people and encouraged them to buy some McDonald's. And it wasn't because it tastes so good, but he has stock in McDonald's
Yeah.
and implored us to eat there. It just makes these young people, attorney, are all stars. I need you within 3 minutes to try to kind of sum up what we're talking about. Dave will in a minute and a half, and then I guess I'll have the last minute and a half. Let me start. Attorney Valencia brought us. Thank you for bringing us this program with these all-stars this afternoon.
These guys are amazing because they're
They are.
interested. They're not just
Yeah.
interested in the topic, they're interested in bettering themselves with the information and helping to spread the word. So they are our financial ambassador planning team for our 2024 financial jeopardy competition. So they'll be helping us with that, and there'll be other people too, but they'll be leading. And they all know they get stipends for stuff like that. And we're gonna be trying to buy a stock with some of that money because that's exciting. But it just so we have goals. We don't just give them dollars. We try to learn, do something with it, etc. But they're all amazing, and they're interested. They talk with me once a week. They look up articles. They research. They're serious, and we want to do all we
Outstanding.
can, young people and others, to really spread the word all over the community. And so we'll be having a community-wide Jeopardy. We've done several with 10, 20 students here or there, but I'm excited for them to be those ambassadors so that you all can just know them more. They're the future, and we want them to be millionaires so they
Outstanding.
can
Very
afford
quickly,
So
Attorney
I'm
Broadus.
done.
I'm sorry for interrupting.
I'm
Very
done.
quickly, Attorney, will you please give your contact information and we'll go to Brother Whelan.
Oh, yes, sorry about that. You may reach us at 816-612-1083. You can also email us at yourmoneyyourbusiness@gmail.com. Yourmoneyyourbusiness@gmail.com. And that's all I got.
Thank
And
you,
thank you
thank you,
to
thank you
my
for
awesome young people.
to you and the young gentleman. H. David Whalen, please.
Richard's Man in Babylon by George Clayson. Less than $5. Please get the book, read it. Fundamental is the way that you become rich. Just keep doing it over and over and over again, but you have to have some knowledge on how to do it. Give me a call, 816-373-1068. I will be more than happy to help you for free. I won't even charge you.
Wow.
You hear
Now
Mr.
that is
Kiva?
an investment.
He has a career that you want. You gotta check him out. Just say hi. Okay.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Sister DeQuay.
I'd like to thank everyone for joining us on your Students for Boots Wave Your Grades program. We come to you live every Saturday from 1 until 2 p.m. Central Standard Time from the WEB Du Bois Learning Center right here in Kansas City, Missouri. I am your announcer, DeQuay Wilson. Now our host, Carl Boyd, will close with his Carl's commentary on academic patriotism and his daily message for students in honor of our veterans from his book, Warning Messages.
How much time do we have? Okay, excellent. Brother Whalen, you were talking about the next page, KC, earlier today, and I have a poem, and it's about love. It's called Love Required, and I will conclude with that poem. When I come shouting, praise the Lord, Buddha cried, please do. Allah smiled, and Yahweh said, we wave in our grades too. Assalamu alaikum, peace, shalom, nam myoho renge kyo. You love one God or witness two, I believe in the holy trio. You're not required to believe as I, but I am required to love you. Your faith is different, I know not why, but God knows I'm not above you. Our natives honor Mother Earth, the land, the sky, the water. We all are one, the great tribe say, and so says God the Father. What teach we now, the child, unborn, innocent, till taught different? That other faiths are ours to scorn? Are we now God's equivalent? Or do we teach in word and deed based on the faiths we chose? That all are children of one seed, whatever cloth their clothes. So when I come shouting, praise the Lord, and Buddha cries, please do, the world is then on one accord when I show my love for you. I apologize for getting mixed up at the beginning. I actually had a person of another faith encourage me to change a word at the very beginning. So when I came shouting, praise the Lord, Buddha cried, please do. Allah smiled, and Moses said, we praise in our ways too. So at any rate, thank you so very much. My name is Carl Boyd.